Well then, it looks like it's time to get into some new material, where for this week we're going to be finishing off Chapter 8 and moving into our last chapter of the semester, Chapter 9, where for finishing Chapter 8 we have the same thing we did in 7.4 and the same thing we did in 6.4. We're going to look at the nice fancy new relations for comparisons in the context of proportions again. So we're going to be looking at how we can use hypothesis testing procedures to compare proportions from different populations. Hooray! Very shocking that that's where we're going to go here. Hopefully you're really ready for looking at this sort of stuff based on things we've done before. It's nothing new here, just a different calculator function. But this is one of the nicest calculator functions we have as long as you're careful with using it. So that's what we have for section 8.4. Then for 9.1, we are moving into a discussion of what are called correlation and regression, starting with the general idea of correlation, looking at connections between data sets. So defining what that is, talking about measurements in terms of what are called correlation coefficients, how we can see certain kinds of relationships with those data sets, how we can test those relationships, and then just a word of caution about not trying to draw conclusions from things that might be coincidental. Anyway, those are our things. Here are our other things, where for this week we have a worksheet, not too many of those left, and then we have deadlines in MyLab for this week's assignments, but, well, I can't really future-proof this very well because the end of November brings some very important reasons why people might not be available to do homework. So for now, I'm going to say that the homework is due on Tuesday, but understand that for people looking at this in November, I'm probably going to extend it a little bit because, well, you know, turkeys and things. Maybe, depending on exactly how that timing shakes out. It's a little bit different every year. And for those of you who are looking at this in April, sorry, if you can come up with a convincing argument that we should have those days off in April, I'll probably support it because I don't argue against days off. But we're probably not going to. Anyway, from there, pre-assessment. We have the pre-assessment done for the last little bit of material that we've got for the semester because we are very close to being done. So, let's finish off Chapter 8 and get started with Chapter 9.